Hey Mepham, welcome back to yet another episode of Midweek Update.
In today's episode, we take a look at the holiday toy drive started by a cancer survivor, a local Chinese restaurant, the total solar eclipse event on Monday, and all new Give Us a Minute and We'll Give You a Month, and yet another senior interview for the class of 2024.
This and more on this week's Midweek Update. I'm Bri Boland.
And I'm Mia Haffner, and welcome back to the Midweek Update, the B&B show that brings you closer to the people and places in and around the Mepham community.
You know, Mia, with it being spring and all, I've been in a really generous mood.
Shouldn't you be in the giving mood all year long?
I am, especially during the holidays, when there are all those drives to donate to.
Well, speaking of drives, let's look at what Chun Hing St does to help the community during the holidays.
So having a brain tumor at 17, I was hospitalized with children back at Schneider's Children's Hospital. And I met a 7-year-old girl who really had no family support. I was during the holiday time and they were having a holiday party. And she brought up a gift to me to make me feel better.
That one act of kindness sparked a lifelong mission to give back by beginning the Chun Hing St Children's Foundation.
It started off with the first year with like 600 toys in a toy drive on his mom's front lawn with a bunch of folding tables and balloons. And because of, he was reaching out, and because of his personality and his ability to connect with people, just grew and grew and grew.
Today, the toy drive takes place in John's Fun Center with the help of many volunteers.
So as you can see, we're in the toy room down here. This is the wish room. So sometimes we bring kids down here and they get to pick out their toys. But then they also bring toys to hospitals and underprivileged areas around the holiday time.
So the toy donation process works. So we accept toys year-round, new unwrapped toys. And when we say toys, it could be gifts from infant to 17 years old. Every holiday season, we collect and distribute over 130,000 gifts just in November and December alone.
Not only does Thiessen have help from his volunteers, but the entire community has taken part in keeping the foundation alive and thriving.
Especially if you take Wantor as a community, because he's so well entrenched in Wantor. Everybody knows him. They constantly do fundraisers for him. They're constantly supporting his fundraisers. Not only Wantor, I mean, it's throughout Long Island. But the fact is that, everybody who knows John and knows the organization, everyone falls in love with the organization, so they want to support it.
There are a multitude of ways for people to support the toy drive, such as attending the Jingle All the Way 5K.
This is the 10th annual run for the Jingle All the Way 5K. We've been going since 2014. We encourage all our athletes that are coming to participate in the race to bring a new and unwrapped toy for the Chun Hing St Children's Foundation. That's who the race benefits. We generally fill John's van once or twice today, and as well as we also do cash donations as well for John.
On any given day, we'll bring in 10,000 toys, at the same time give out 15,000 toys. It's an incredible process, but it's amazing. I mean, if you think about, like, the one girl who gave me the gift when she was 7 years old, what she started, here I am 32 years old, 32 years later, and being able to help out whatever child we can.
For B&B, I'm Michaela Dobby.
That's so sweet. I know the kids in the hospital is going to love those toys.
It must mean a lot to their families too.
It's going to be expensive to support their kids with all those hospital visits.
Well, parents will do anything to support their kids.
Actually, I was just thinking about all the ways that parents support their kids, like through local businesses like Chun Hing.
Okay, we came to this country almost about 30 years. We started this business in Bellmore since 2007. The restaurant industry, like running long hours, that's how we made it, make a living. We're gonna make a beef pho mein today. shredded beef, mild shredded beef. We start with $50. That's what we bought it in to start with. Then I worked with the relatives in Queens for about 3-4 years. And after I finished my high school still of the Queens, then we moved to Kansas City. We had a restaurant over there for about almost 4 or 5 years. Then we moved back to Bellmore. We want to have a better education, have a better future. Okay. Yes, the people, man. So far, we love this job. It helped us to support to our family, and there was not that much profit, but still, we raised the 2 kids in this high cost, expensive area in the New York State. But we was proud and we love to serving our communities. So since right now my daughter was on the 2nd year of the college, and also my son was getting to the college as well. So hopefully everything will come out right for next generations, for our family.
Wow, that made me really hungry. I can't believe how good that food looks.
I get that. It's really a rare sight to see something that delicious.
Well, we've been having a couple of those recently.
Yep, here's Hallie Gillison with another rare sight that occurred this Monday.
Thanks, guys. As you all have heard and may have seen, this Monday, April 8th, was the day of the solar eclipse. Here on Long Island, we were graced with an 89% partial solar eclipse, meaning the moon blocked the majority of the sun closely but not entirely aligning with it from our viewing perspective. To participate in the visual spectacle, science departments across the district organized separate eclipse viewing events, in which students registered were provided goggles for safe viewing and an opportunity to observe the once-in-a-solar eclipse event alongside peers as well as teachers.
I'd like to see the eclipse, and I thought it would be nice to share with my Mepham family here.
Across the country, many have traveled to the path of total eclipse, stretching across the country. Here in New York, Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse were the cities to be if you want to see the eclipse at its strongest. According to NASA, the next time we can expect to see a total eclipse will be on August 23rd, 2044. So if you missed it, patience is a virtue and better luck this time. At least we had time to prepare in advance, unlike last week's earthquake. As for me, well, I guess I'll put these glasses in the closet for 20 years. From B&B, I'm Hallie Gillison.
This whole eclipse thing is really putting stuff into perspective for me and Bree. Time has really been flying.
I know, I can't believe it's already April. March seriously flew by.
Oh yeah, totally. And if you give me just 1 minute, we'll make sure you don't miss anything that happened.
Yes, Tyler, this is the SDN Crazy competition.
I don't know about you, Mia, but I am so excited that our spring sports have started.
Oh, I am so excited too, and a little bit curious to see what's been going on in the Mepham sports recently.
Mia, you seriously haven't been keeping up?
Well, not entirely, but luckily for both of us, Jared Broxmeyer has been.
Thanks, guys. Our spring season is in full swing as first to the field. With this past Friday, our Pirates baseball team had an opening day as they were able to come away with an 8-0 win over the Spartans as they look to carry over their momentum with games against Long Beach all throughout this week. Staying on the diamond where the softball team headed to play district rival Calhoun. Now to the lacrosse field where the boys had a strong start to their season and stayed hot this past Saturday as they took on division with a score of 16-9. Now to the Lady Pirates, where they looked to get a win yesterday against Calhoun, where B&B had their cameras, so be sure to stay tuned. Here's Emma Santiago with a preview.
Thanks, guys. I'm here in the Mepham field where, as many of you have heard on last week's Midweek Update, many of this year's remaining B&B Game of the Weeks will be broadcasted live on the B&B YouTube channel. Last week's scheduled boys lacrosse game happened to fall on quite a rainy day, so B&B was unfortunately unable to haul our equipment out to live stream the game. Fortunately, though, we're picking up right where we left off and beginning the spring season of B&B Game of the Week last night with the girls lacrosse game against Calhoun. Once again, our crew is incredibly excited to do what we do best and bring Mepham into your homes. I know I can't wait to get involved with tonight's and future games this season. For B&B, I'm Emma Santiago.
Thanks, Emma. On the field this past Monday, the Bellmore-Merrick Chargers were victorious over Valley Stream and look to carry it over tomorrow versus MacArthur. Now to the gym, where the girls' badminton team moved to 2-2 on Friday with the win against Roslyn and look to keep it up, coming back home with matches versus Bethpage and Jericho. Now to professional sports, where men's and women's March Madness championship games took place this past Sunday and Monday. South Carolina defeated Iowa, which was my women's winner wrong, and in the men's, UConn defeated Purdue to give me one of two winners correct. That's all for me. I'm Jared Broxmeyer, now back to Bree and Mia in the studio.
It's been such a crazy year for me. I can't believe we're already in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, there's only a few months until all the seniors graduate.
I know you're all going to miss the B&B seniors, but I have some good news for you.
What news?
One of my fellow seniors is here for this week's senior interview. Welcome to the show, Charles. So happy you could take time to come and reflect on your time in B&B with us.
Well, thank you so much for bringing me on.
So, Charles, what have these past 4 years in B&B been for you?
Looking back at my time in B&B and thinking about what I've accomplished, I definitely think inventing the cumulonimbus Charles persona. I mean, I look back at my freshman and sophomore years, I was a bit of a thesaurus. That was my character. I would just say words, and then I would say bigger words, and then I would say smaller words, and I would just say a lot of words. But then from sophomore to junior year, I was very experimental. I had a lot of fun, and I did some very strange and obtuse bits that don't make sense necessarily, but it was always a good, it was almost like a thought experiment in my head of just trying to figure out how to make each episode have its own kind of spark and its own interesting little tidbit about it. And now in my last year or so, I've kind of somewhat grounded myself. I'm a little bit more settled. Yes, I do engage with some crazy stuff, but usually it's pretty contained what kind of crazy thing it is that I am doing.
What was one of your favorite weather segments on the morning announcements that you produced?
Okay, when I think of my weather segments and a few that stand out to me, weirdly enough, this past year, the Pig Latin episode, random people keep bringing it up, so it's on my mind, and that one was definitely a lot of fun to work on. On top of that, definitely it makes me happy every year to have my holiday fun, my Halloween episode, my Chris Mahana Kwanzaa spectaculars, where I put on a funny suit, get a few props, and have some fun. Groundhog's Day, of course, throwback to the movie, and one in particular, definitely, that I finally got around to wrapping up was the World Language Week episode, where I spoke in Spanish, French, Italian, and Mandarin. I've been trying to put that together for 2 years now, and I find this year the stars aligned, and I was able to do it, and I'm so happy that I was able to put that out there.
What will you miss the most about B&B after this year?
When I think about what I will miss regarding B&B, I think to going to STN this year, specifically just how everyone acted there. I was so impressed, genuinely, how everyone was so personable, everyone knew how to have a good time, but when we had to get down to business, everyone was so tuned in, and it was so seamless and so professional, and it made me happy to know that I was accompanied by all of these young adults, really, that are professionals. Like, really, I was blown away by everybody. I still think about how everyone was acting, and it makes me happy to say that I am a part of that group of people. And, you know, I'll also miss just cumulonimbus Charles every week, because I'm a pretty busy person and I have a lot of things going on. So having that opportunity once a week to do something creative and have some fun, it has actually carried me and lifted me up quite a ways. And so that really was a big thing, and I'm sure I'll find other ways in the future to remain creative in some ways and make that a part of my lifestyle. But in high school, cumulonimbus Charles every week with B&B, that was awesome. A wonderful experience.
Thanks for coming on the show, Charles.
All right, thank you so much for having me. Really, truly, it was an honor to speak with you too.
I can't believe you're graduating too, Bri.
I know, it's really unbelievable, but don't cry on me now, Mia. It's only April.
Okay, sure. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode of Midweek Update. We'll be back next week with all new stories from around the BMCHSD to bring you inside the parts of the community you don't always get to see. Until then, I'm Mia Haffner.
And I'm Bri Boland, and we'll see you all next midweek. Whoop whoop. We got it done.
We're done.
Yeah, we're done.
One, cut.